Hey everybody, Dominic Miranda hanging out here at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. We're about a quarter of the way through the NBA season. So to talk Pacers, we have the man of the hour, Tony East. So many jobs you can't keep track. SI Pacers, Forbes, and of course Locked On Podcast talking about the Pacers with WTHR. Tony, like I said, quarter of the way through the season. Good enough sample size where you can get a good feel for this team. What do you make of this Pacers team this far through the season?
Yeah, 13-9, they have to be pretty happy with that start. They've had a home-filled schedule, so maybe a little better. They've talked about some frustrating losses along the way, but to beat some of the best teams in the East from last year, all the top four, some of the better teams in the West, reach that in-season tournament final, I think they're happy record-wise with what they've seen so far.
Yeah, that journey to the in-season title, we saw some national attention with this Pacers team, right? They beat the Bucks, they beat the Celtics, they make it to that final. Is that a situation where you saw some maybe momentum could be built for this team moving forward to the in-season tournament? We were just talking off air, really opened some eyeballs about this Pacers team.
Definitely a valuable experience for them to play on a stage like that at all. They have national TV experience, tons of people watching them, and they're very attractive to fan style or scoring a bunch of points. So to have that in those moments against really good teams, and not only to have that, but to win those games, to make it known that they can beat the best of the best when they're playing their way, I think was very meaningful for this young team.
And you mentioned playing their way. Their way is scoring a lot more points than their opponents to win games, right? What is, I guess, more in the nitty-gritty here has stuck out to you about this Pacers team thus far, and what do you want to see as we get closer to the All-Star game here in Indianapolis?
Yeah, the standout thing for their offense and their scoring explosion, you start with Tyrese Halliburton, who, even being an All-Star last year, took another step as a scorer and a distributor. So much of their offensive identity is that he's a fantastic player who can get his teammates involved and can score himself, but a lot of guys have taken just minor steps forward on that end too. Aaron Nesmith, Miles Turner having nice seasons for the Pacers this year. Bruce Brown, one of their new additions, has some good scoring games for them along the way. They've shown that somebody can step up along Halliburton in a lot of their wins, and that's been helpful too.
Yeah, it's certainly a deep team, right? A lot of contributors on this Pacers team. All right, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, I believe the term is fracas last night with the Milwaukee Bucks. What do you make of that? Do we have a budding rivalry here in the East with the Bucks and Pacers?
Yeah, it's hard to say what game ball was what. It's hard to see without knowing exactly who traveled where, carrying what items, but a budding rivalry would be very fun for the Pacers, especially against a team as decorated as the Bucks. Won a championship 2 years ago. That already shows a little bit of respect, right? But they've played 3 times in 22 games. They played 2 more in early January. So certainly a lot of familiarity. Halliburton celebrating like Dame, the game ball controversy. It's going to be fun, these Pacers-Bucks games.
All right, last thing I got for you. Pacers are 5th in the East right now. I think as information changes, expectations change. You're 5th in the East. There's a lot of attention around this Pacers team. I think playoffs is a reasonable expectation, maybe not even having to deal with the play-in game. What say you?
Yeah, that's definitely possible. You know, they have a really tougher January coming up and a little bit of a road-heavy schedule right now. Should they stay around where they are right now, of course, through then, the expectations will come. Everybody will know that this is a team that has that kind of level, but they've got to get through that. They've got to get through their first injuries, which right now they're dealing with. I think we'll learn a lot in the second quarter of the season about if they're that level of team, but so far they have shown they can beat anybody. Maybe that is realistic.
All right, certainly fun times here in Indianapolis. The Pacers, Tony East says they'll make the playoffs. All right, a lot can change. It's early on in the season, but that's Tony East. I'm Dominic Miranda.